Greetings. Happy Friday. Hope you guys are doing well. Happy Venus Day. So, all right, I want to make sure that I can hear myself and that the internet connection is good. Let me just double check and see. I can hear myself. And I do. Okay. I can hear myself. Good, 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 good. Okay. So, how's everybody doing on this lovely Friday? I have a message for you guys. I'm going to pull, of course, I'm going to pull some cards, but I wanted to channel a message for you guys too as well. Okay. So before we get started, I just want everyone to ground their energies. Okay. Ground your energies. Release whatever is stressing you out at this time. Okay. Just let it go. Okay. Um, I want this message to encourage those who are meant to receive it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Okay. Don't try to force feed it. But I'm not excluding everyone out of this, but I do want to speak to the ladies mainly. I want to speak to you guys mainly, okay? To the women, to the ladies. Your voice is very powerful. Your voice is very powerful. And I'm speaking directly to the women that you have been told either that you are too much, either that you're too smart, you're too opinionated, you're hard to deal with. For those women that feel that they're not enough, or that their voice isn't strong enough or loud enough, or that they're not smart enough, that no one wants to hear you or no one cares, right? If you've been told that throughout your life, that you were too much or you were not enough, or that those things that you've heard throughout your life, I want you to push past that ceiling over you that limits you, that tells you that it's like either you're not enough, so okay, why even try? I'm not enough, or let me overperform to be something I'm not, or if I'm too much, let me kind of pipe down a little bit, let me water it down a little bit. No. As my good sis would say, you have to have the audacity to be yourself. Have the audacity, because at the end of the day, you're not here to walk this path for everybody else. That's not what it's about. Have the audacity to be you. Have the audacity to be the light that you're called to be. And I want to tell you one thing. You will always have an adversary when you walk in the audacity, when you walk in authenticity, when you walk in light. You're not here to sugarcoat. I don't want women to feel shamed to be or perform what they think is femininity. A man can't tell you how to be a woman. No one can tell you how to walk your journey and your path, how to embody your divine femininity. No one can tell you how to do that. There's so many different facets of femininity. I say this all the time. So what one person might not like or prefer, someone else will, right? And that doesn't have to be just romantically speaking or just about men in general, or, whatever you're sexually attracted to. But people will gravitate towards what they resonate with, what they vibe with. When you're your authentic self, you inspire others to be their authentic self. It's only when people don't have the audacity and the confidence to be their authentic self They have to feel the need to tear other people down, or they have to find the need to put you in a box so that they feel comfortable about you. And that's something that you will face throughout your life. You've been facing it. So why now, or why get to that place or question the space that you're in to say, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't do this, or maybe I should do more of this? No, be your authentic self. And if your voice feels silent to you, or you've had to silence yourself, now is the time for you to break that glass ceiling and speak for yourself. It's not about perfection and, performing and, being this structured, tailored person. No. No. Another thing too, comparison is the thief of your joy. My sis sent that to me today, and we've all heard that saying before, that comparison is the thief of joy. It is. The only person you should be comparing yourself to is you. The former you and the you that you are now. The progression, the person that you want to see yourself be, the person that you grew from, changed, how you would like to change and to grow. Worrying about other people is never going to get you to where you want to be. If you're going to be inspired by people, that's one thing. To compare and to compete or to tear down, you're not in your empower. You're not empowered. You're not empowering anybody by tearing other people down. Right? So if someone is doing that to you, they're not in their power either. They're not. And I say this to y'all because you have a voice. You have a voice. And your voice is not just like a vocal voice only alone, but it's your expression of life. How you show up in this world is powerful. So if you decide or choose for yourself that, you're going to take on a certain path, or you have plans or purpose for yourself, talents and skills, gifts and ideas, solutions, whatever, that you have a right to give that to the world, to share that with the world. You have that right to do that. You have that blessing. Hey sis, how are you? I'm well. You have that birthright to express yourself authentically and be you. Real divine goddess energy is having the audacity to be your authentic self and walking your path and your purpose without comparing and competing against another woman, or feeling like you're better than men, or men are beneath you, or that you're beneath another man, or another woman is greater than you, or you're greater than her. That's not walking in your power. It's the recognizing that we all can walk in our power and still respect each other. We may not like and resonate with everything. Like, you might be one form. Because one thing that I noticed is that I used to attract a lot of women that had people would say masculine energy, but I don't feel like it was really masculine energy. If it was toxic masculinity, but I'm more so inclined to say that it was toxic femininity, where toxic femininity takes on a form of false sense of protection. I have to be hard, I have to be mean, I have to be aggressive, I have to be the loudest and most boastful in the room. Oh, I don't care about F these ninjas and that blah, 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 blah. But those are the most insecure women that I've met. The most male-centered women that I've met that have that energy. The most jealous women and envious women. And I would get attacked a lot for being too nice or too kind. And it would be a lot of competing and comparing and stuff like that. And that dynamic is not healthy, right? So when you meet men that have issues with women that have strong personalities, not toxic femininity personalities, but strong personalities where they're confident in themselves, they may have a level of independence where they will do things for themselves. They take care of themselves and their needs. They facilitate their own happiness and joy. If they're having bad moments and down moments, they don't make other people responsible for it around them. They're not a needy, clingy energy. So men that have a toxic masculinity that can come off as very feminine, where it's catty, it's jealous, it's possessive, controlling. That is a person that's not in their power. That is a person that is in balance within their own self. When people are in balance with their own self, they try to find or cling on to things to find balance, right? What do people do when, let's say, you're depressed, right? And you don't know how to regulate your depression or your emotions. You probably will do something outside of yourself to distract or to numb, whether that's drinking, whether that's overeating, whether that's sex, or whether that's watching too much TV, or focusing on everybody else's drama in life, or, you know, if you're really toxic, tearing other people down with your mess. Instead of a healthy, balanced person that goes through depression at times or has depressive episodes or moments, they will sort within themselves what's going on with me. Or let me go outside and take a walk and breathe. Let me go read a book that's going to help me clear my mind. Let me journal, like healthy things. Let me go pray. Let me go do something. Let me go take a run to clear my mind. And, you know, let me do something healthy, right? That's the difference. So when you're dealing with people that don't have balance within themselves, that energy has to feed off of something or to numb itself. So that's why when I say that, I'm saying all of this to say, because I feel like sometimes I go here and there, but it all comes back. I say all of that to say that why you shouldn't really, to be quite frank, give a fuck about having the ability and the audacity to just be your authentic self and not care what people say or think about you. Number one, you can't please people. Humans, I say this all the time, humans' emotions shift all the time. One minute they're happy, one minute they're not, or they like you or they don't. So that doesn't matter. And when you're dealing with energies such as people that seek to tear you down, you have to look at it from a healthy perspective, that these are people that do not have healthy relationships with themselves. They do not have healthy relationships with themselves. So how can they participate in a healthy sense in the world? So why does it matter what they have to say? Why does it matter? And just adults that have healthy, healthy energies know that if they don't resonate with something, okay, cool, moving on. That's not for me. That's not the people for me. That's not the relationship for me. Healthy people know that. They understand that. I want you to emancipate yourself from the chains placed on you and on your voice, to not beat yourself up, to not result to this, well, I'm too much, or I'm not enough, or hiding and cowering, because who gives a fuck? This internet shit right here, I'll tell you firsthand right now, if you have some level of a platform or something, whether you think you big or you not big enough, whatever, you're going to face adversaries all the time. All the time. All the time. People like what they like. People dislike what they dislike. And some people just have a problem with you because they have the problem with themselves. They have an issue with their own image in the mirror. They don't like themselves. So that's all you need to know. Like, when it comes to the blocks and all of that, that's all you need to know. That a motherfucker that don't pay no bills for me, a motherfucker that's not adding to my life in a healthy way, who gives a fuck what they have to say? Who gives a fuck? Nobody watches a motherfucker harder than a hater. Nobody. The enemy lurks. The enemy is a monitoring spirit. They have to keep tabs on you. You have to see what you're up to. Always. You know how many people sit up and watch my stories and my Instagrams and see everything I'm posting, but don't contribute, don't celebrate, don't congratulate, or people that always got something to say. And it's like, motherfucker, why are you here? Bitch, why are you here? In my Jocelyn Hernandez voice, bitch, why are you here? Literally, why are you here? You ain't got nothing else better to do. And I bet you $1 million right now, there's a couple of you motherfuckers watching right now because you ain't got nothing else better to do. But that is neither here nor there. But take this as a testimony. You always have a hater. You always have somebody that does not like you. Who gives a fuck? Have the audacity to show up as you. And I want to give you a little homework assignment real quick before we pull some cards. I'm going to give you a little homework assignment. Look in the mirror. Look yourself in the mirror. Look yourself in the mirror if you can, because some people can't look themselves in the mirror because they literally hate themselves and they project it onto everybody else. That hate that they have for themselves, they'll project it onto everyone else. So, monitoring spirits as well. Little haters and minions. Take this for yourself too. Do your homework. Go look at yourself in the mirror and speak love to yourself, if you can even do it. Look yourself in the eyes when you look at yourself in the mirror and speak love and light over yourself. I dare you to. The month of July is still here, and I forgot that I was dedicating this month to getting free. And I have been doing that too for myself personally. So I'm taking my own advice. I've been using this month to liberate myself, even if I have to be pushed into it. So be it. So I'm asking you, those of you that are meant to receive this anyhow, because not everybody's going to receive this because either it's just maybe not for them or they don't want to receive it. That's fine too. It's all good. But for those of you that do receive this message, look yourself in the eyes as you look at yourself in the mirror and speak love over yourself today. Even those people that do not like me, at least I have an ounce enough of heart. As fucked up as people are in the world, even y'all motherfuckers, speak love over yourself because that's really what you need. Stop looking for validation and love from everybody else around you. That's not going to work. Like, it's not. So, I pray this, that the collective of those who are meant to receive this message, that you hear the message and you take heed to it and do it when you're really ready to. And it's going to feel uncomfortable at first. You're not going to, especially if you struggle with low self-esteem or you have poor self-image of yourself and whatever else is, we all been through some shit. Like, our family members can be the worst enemies. So I know that firsthand. And I know a lot of people can attest to that sometimes our family can bring about a lot of pain and trauma upon us, So to have the courage to denounce those things that you've experienced. So for me, as a child, I had a lot of attacks around my intelligence or the lack thereof, or being told that I was stupid, or, I had that beaten into me as a child. So working through expressing myself, how I choose to live my life, how I choose to use my voice, that is a daily dedication to myself. Every time I show up and speak for myself or speak up for myself or to share messages with others or to dare to speak positively to myself or to get out of my comfort zone and say yes or say no to things. Know when to discern what needs my needs my yes or my no, or what needs my attention, and knowing when to back away from certain things, knowing when to stand up towards things and what that looks like. That's a daily dedication. So it is Venus Day, but if, you know, y'all watch this, if you guys watch this after Venus Day, even still, take this message. I want you guys to do this homework. Your life shifts and changes the more you appreciate who you are, the more you embrace the parts of yourself, even if it hurts. Like, yeah, like, there's not one human on the planet that has not gone through some shit. There's not one. And we're not going to compare or compete of who has the most terrible story and sob story, but just know as humans, we all go through shit. Speak love over yourself today. And the mirror is powerful because it's a projection of you. And it's also, you know, how they say the eyes are the mirror to the soul. So as you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're looking into your own eyes, you are reading into your own soul and you're speaking to that reflection of you. Love, empowerment. And empowerment is not tearing other people down. It's not. You would think adults would know that, but sometimes they don't. You only do that because you yourself do not have control and power over your own self. So you seek to control and take power, or what you think is power, over other people and over other people's energies and beings, but no. Or you can flip it. If people do that to you, just know that when other people don't have control and some form of governance over their own self, their own life, their own thoughts and emotions, they will tend to seek out to control other people. Thoughts, feelings, emotions, or dictate their movements. Like, it's kind of like an abusive boyfriend that's jealous, that's insecure, that tells his girlfriend that's attractive, why are you wearing that? You look like a S word. I'm not going to say, you know, you look like a S word. You look like a H word. What are you wearing? That is a projection. This person doesn't have self-control. They're not confident in themselves. They don't believe that they're worthy of you. They don't believe that they're good enough to have, you know, someone faithful or loyal to them. So they project. So you have to understand the energy of projection is actually a powerless energy. You have to understand that. You got to understand that in order to be like, okay. When they don't have control over their own lives, or they don't have an identity, or they're having a midlife crisis or an identity crisis or whatever, it's easy to project onto others and try to dictate other people's lives in a sense of, you know, like this form of control and restriction and diminishing or taking away from your light, because it gives them a sense of power. If they can get you to shake up and waver a little bit, if they can get you to doubt yourself, if they can make you feel intimidated. Intimidating energy and spirit is a low vibration. It's a powerless energy. It only needs your yes, your agreement to it, your attention to it to take your power away. Fear tactics and all of that, that's powerless energy. Powerless. Kids play games like that. That's little kid shit. That's like low level magic, in a sense. Like, if you think about it, that's like kiddie shit. No authority, no dominion over themselves, so they have to try to get it from other people. That's a weak energy. That's a weak individual. When you can govern your own life in a healthy manner, govern your emotions, take time out for yourself, to better your surroundings, when you're considerate of your energy, your mind, will, and emotions, and other people around you, power and authority, you got it. You know yourself. So, yeah. Anywho, I hope that was helpful to someone, you know, because not every message is going to resonate with the collective, so I get it, you know. Some things might, some things will not, some things may not, you know. But we're going to do that. We're going to do that little mirror work as many times as we need to, till we feel that sense of ground within ourselves. When we get to that place where we're not always going to feel perfect, and I mean, we probably never will feel perfect. You know, that's not something that we need to be focused on, is perfection, but growth and progression rather. Yes, absolutely. The easier it gets to look yourself in the mirror and speak love and light over yourself, you know that your energy is you're really doing something. You know it. You know that you're really working something out. That's powerful. Yeah. So, yeah. Have the audacity today. Alright, let's see. Divine Source. Actually, before I use these, I've been waiting for these cards. Temu was playing with my shit yesterday. My stuff was supposed to have been delivered a long time ago. Alright. So, I was waiting on this deck. It's the Plastics Oracle, but it's really a tarot deck. But I guess because it's like a bootleg. But the Mean Girls Tarot deck. I've been waiting on this. I'm going to get the official version because it doesn't come out until March, I think, of next year. But Mean Girls is one of my favorite movies. And I said, okay. I seen it on Temu and I had to have it. So I'm going to do like a little read with it. I haven't even looked at the cards yet. So interesting. Dang. I kind of want to do an unboxing of it. I don't want to shuffle it up, but... Dang. This is so cute. I'm already just like geeked. It does come with a guidebook. That's good. I like that. Okay. So that's funny. I'm going to do a reading with this first because since we're talking about having the audacity, and you have to ignore, you know, adversaries. You have to know how to like counteract some of the, you know, the pushback. Like, it's okay. Like, we don't all have to agree on everything and come into that place that, or surpassing the fear of, see, I knew this happened for a reason. I knew this is why Spirit did not want me to have my cards last night, because they were out for delivery all day yesterday. And I thought for sure, like, okay, at night, maybe they're going to drop it off at night before I did my live yesterday. No, but they came this morning. So that's perfect. So if you guys ever seen the movie Mean Girls, you guys kind of get the gist of the movie where Lindsay Lohan's character, right? She's like a new student. She's from Africa. So it's like, it was kind of like a little joke. She didn't dress up kind of, you know, all preppy and, you know, tailored to the popular crowd. And she kind of lost herself because it was meant to just be like an infiltration on behalf of her two friends that she had met, right? The girl and the guy that she was, you know, had made friends with. And the infiltration led to her kind of becoming like them. She started to become and mold herself to be like them. And the popularity went to her head and she lost her sense of identity, right? Wasn't until the end of the movie, and I like this part of things, and I guess that's the other side of me that's kind of like the Sour Patch Kid. I can be the sour one, but I can also be the sweet one. Where even though Regina George had been a terrible person to everybody in her circle, including her man. Even though that was the case, at the end, everybody liberated themselves before, you know, before peace was made. Everybody liberated themselves to speak up what they needed to speak their piece. Like, you know, that famous saying, like, if anyone has ever been victimized by Regina George, and like pretty much the whole fucking school, even the teachers and the staff itself, not just the students, but everyone. And then they all did this experiment because they were all fighting against each other, and then they did this thing where they said something kind or whatever, or just spoke up for themselves. And my favorite one, I can't remember the girl's name, but it was Katie, what's her name? Lindsay Lohan's friend, the girl. She was like, I guess because I got a big lesbian crush on you or whatever. And it was like kind of like playing with like the rumors and the negative things and the gossip and all of that that was being said, and taking her power back and making it a joke and playing with it. And that, I feel like that's the energy why I'm getting, like having the audacity to be like, whatever the fuck, like who cares? Beautiful. Take your power back in whatever way resonates with you in a healthy sense. Healthy sense. Take your power back for your healthy self, your healthy sense. And at the end, Katie went back to being herself, or finding herself more so, and being able to still blend in with everyone and be cool with everyone around her. Is that real life all the time? No. But in a sense of, we don't got to be cool like Kiki and hang out and eat and break bread or whatever, or be friends or be together romantically or whatever, but to respect space. Like, okay, we don't always agree, or we don't always resonate, or, you know, in high school they have the cliques, they have this, they have that. Like, I can say hi to everyone in the hallway and keep it pushing and keep it moving, and I don't have to, like, you know, even Regina George, like, just passing by and saying hi, it's all good. You know what I mean? Like, adults do that. Adults can do that. And not all the time is it going to be that way where adults can find peace. Sometimes it's literally allowing people to just, you have to, either way it goes, whether it's where adults can agree to disagree or whatever, move forward, whatever, or there's still a beef. And either way it goes, you can't control people's emotions, you can't control what people do, you can only control your energy. And that's the authority that you have, is when you can control your own energy. How you respond and how you react to everything is up to you. Because you can let a motherfucker know that you're not going to play in my face, or you can just let a motherfucker just play themselves. It's like, it's up to you how you move. But don't try to water yourself down or fit, or try to mold yourself, or like mold yourself to be less than, or let me overextend, let me overdo it. No. Show up for yourself. For yourself. For you. If you are trying to like better yourself, do it because you want to see the results for you, not because you want the praise of the crowd, or you want your mama and your daddy to finally accept this part of you. Because I had to tell my dad, speaking of, I had to tell my dad the other day, not even the other day, it was like whenever I was visiting, I had to tell him, like, my style is my style, because my dad is like very into the trends and stuff and all of that. And I had to tell him straight up, like, my style is my style. Like, I don't like everything that you like, and you may not like everything that I like, but this is how I dress. Like, this is me. You know, it might seem like a small thing to some, but like for me to be able to just like speak up for myself in certain ways to certain people, because I owe it to my inner child. That's part of it too. A lot of the things that I suppress, I owe it to my inner child to deal with it. Doesn't have to be disrespectful or anything like that. Or, you know, it wasn't like I was coming at my dad disrespectfully. I was just like, this is my style. This is how I like to dress. And point blank period. That's all it was. It wasn't like, oh, F you. Like, no, it's not that serious. But I'm going to read this little Mean Girl Tarot. Then I'm going to pull from this African Tarot too, just as like further guidance. Or maybe I'll use some of these oracles too, because I got some little bootleg oracles from Timu as well. I like that this is a standard tarot size though. That's what's up. Because sometimes like Timu be like having those little tiny little decks. Divine Spirit, Force God, our angels, our guides who love and guide us and assist us. What is the message? What is the message that we need? What is the Mean Girls Tarot deck? Oh shit, okay. King of Wands wanted to come out after all. Oh wow. The King of Swords. Queen of Swords was Regina George at the prom. It's funny. Okay. The Ten of Pentacles. When everyone, like, okay, that's that follower energy. Now, don't mind me if I read this. Hey, sis. How are you? Hi, Zena. Hi, sis. Hey. Seven of Cups. Are these the cool Asians? I think it is. The Seven of Cups, the Queen of Cups, Gretchen, the Six of Pentacles. Some of these, like, I can't make out. The Eight of Cups is the new plastics at the end. All right. So, looking at this energy, I feel like with all these kings and queens, like, you have the Queen of Wands, or sorry, you have the King of Wands, the King of Swords, Queen of Swords, Queen of Cups. There's a lot of different facets of energy, and I feel like some of you guys are finding your balance with finding your balance with expressing yourself. And not, like I said, it's not just a verbal expression, but like how you choose to live and how you walk your life, how you govern your thoughts, your mind, will, and emotions. It's everything, because you can be both Regina George and Gretchen Wieners, like the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Cups, in your own way, in a way that's balanced, right? Or some of y'all might be some Regina Georges and y'all need to, Regina George, if you think about it, look at how her mom was. Like, if we want to go deep, like really go deep, look at how her mom was. Her mom was like, had no boundaries. She was letting her kids, like her daughter, drink. I'm the cool mom. She had like the little hoochie clothes. Like, some of our moms was like, that girl, that party chick that didn't have no boundaries. She was like the friend mom. Like, she wasn't really like instilling any type of boundaries and rules and standards for her children. It was just like a freak for all. You know what I'm saying? So you have to consider the environment too. That's why I always say, like, when looking at other people, and I try to at least empathize with people, but the part that brings me back to center is like, okay, that's unfortunate that has happened. But like I said earlier, we all go through shit. And as a grown-ass adult, you dictate your own life and how you respond. A grown man or grown woman that's making excuses for life and what has happened to them as a means to why they treat people badly or why they won't change for themselves, that has nothing to do with you. I don't really find sympathy nor empathy for a person that, just people in general that use their trauma as an excuse to be a terrible person or to keep themselves in terrible conditions. I can't empathize or sympathize with people like that, especially if there's solutions available. See, a person that really wants to change, that's why I'm skipping around real quick, but when people like ask about love and relationships and the person is treating them badly or the person is not really doing anything, taking any sort of real initiative in the connection, if it you can even call it that, because sometimes people just be in trauma bonds. They don't even really be real connections. But like, you have to consider, like, a grown man or grown woman, if they really want to change, they're going to do the work. There's no excuses. When people want to do something, they're going to do it. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, they're going to do that thing that they want to do. So if a person really wants to heal and do better and live a healthier life, they're going to make that decision to do it. So you can't make excuses. Oh, well, he got cheated on before. Or, oh, her mom used to do this to her. And blah, blah. We all had something happen to us. That doesn't give us an excuse to be, like I said, ill-willed people or to live a bad lifestyle. You can change your environment. You can change the way you respond to things. You can change not to play victim. I don't find empowerment in a person that's like, yeah, so when a person tells me, oh, he's like this because he used to be like, his dad used to do this to him and punch him, and this and that happened. So, not so in a sense of like, oh, well, fuck, that doesn't matter what happened to them, but so in a sense of, how does that justify that person's actions towards you? Number one, it shows they don't respect you. And number two, it shows them that they don't respect themselves. Nor love themselves, for that fact. Because if you just okay with sitting in trauma and you're okay with like spilling all of your traumas out on everybody else and fucking everybody else's environment and world around them, you don't care about yourself nor anybody else. You don't have enough self-pride in yourself. Say this all the time. That will probably save a few people from making excuses for no good people in your life. Adults know better. They know when they fucking up. They know better. Sometimes it does require healthy conversations between two adults to like figure out what's up, and miscommunication, like, clear that up. But when someone's just willingly and they know that they're in the wrong, or they constantly are in the wrong with you, that's a person that doesn't give a fuck. So why are you wasting your time? Why are you wasting your good friendship? Why are you wasting your good, heart on people that don't want to change or do better for themselves? It's not about doing better for you. That's part of love. That's a part of love, not just romantic love, but when someone's really ready to change because they see how it affects their health, their life, the world around them, and the people around them, if they really care, they'll get the help that they need, or they're going to do the work on themselves. You're wasting your time trying to like, oh, if I could just be this more, be less of this and that. If someone is not for you, you know that. It could be good, cool people. These could be good people, whatever. But if the energies just don't match, it's okay. Move forward. Move on. You don't have to mold yourself. And with the Ten of Pentacles here, the Ten of Pentacles is usually like generational, family, things like that. So I feel like a generational thing where you've kind of felt like you've had to, there could be like a leader in your family. Everyone has a leader, whether it's, a mother figure, whether it's the favorite cousin, whether it's a male or female cousin or uncle. There's someone that sets the tone, but it usually is the matriarchal figure that sets the tone for how the rest of the family, even if that person's dead and gone, that energy, that lineage, those traditions, those dogmas, whatever, they are carried through, right? Sometimes like through the blood, like you just take on that energy, not even knowing. Trying to fit in, like, because Regina George is the leader, right? Who would wear a shirt like that? Like, I'm glad they depicted this because it's so funny. Like, who the fuck would walk around with a cutout tank top with their bra showing? Like, it's just stupid. So everybody was doing it, and it just was dumb, right? Hive-minded. So no thought, no care into, proper, Just like, you don't walk around in school wearing shit like that. Like, it just, not only does it look dumb, it's just inappropriate, right? No thought, no care about these things. So like, when it comes to family and upbringing and things like that, some things we just don't question, we just go with it. Oh, well, that's how so and so does it, and da 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 da, and then everybody carries on this same type of energy, not thinking it through and being like, this is unhealthy, this is stupidity at its finest. And having the ability to break that off is very powerful. That's a power move. Like, because everybody in the school was walking around looking stupid as fuck, except for a few people. Not everybody was falling into that. Like, you have to have your own mind. You have to have your own identity. That's what's important. That's what I like about it. Like, yeah, it's a comedy, but it does have a moral to the story, which I like. Seven of Cups, which is the cool Asians. So some type of an illusion around culture, again, culture, something to do with a false sense of maybe approval, praise, what success is, attractiveness, like all these restricted things that are placed on you, that were placed on people around you, placed on family members. It's like, do you have the power or the courage to free yourself of that? What you gonna choose? Like, you can choose to be similar to this person. Oh, I can be like auntie so and so and uncle so and so and grandma so and so or whoever. Or you could call to the name that's yours. Because I think this is somebody's name. I think this is one of the girls in the movie's name. Or you could be that queen bee that has your own, like, you create your own lane, your own path, you create your own table. You don't have to sit at no one else's table. You choose. You know, the Seven of Cups is about those choices, and sometimes it's like the illusions of things. We already talked about the queens and the kings here. I feel like these are balancing out what true expression and authenticity is, and balancing the energies out. Like, you don't have to water yourself down to be, oh, well, to be this type of woman or this type of man, I need to be more or less of this. It's like, no, find your balance, what resonates with you in a healthy way. Six of Pentacles. So again, I feel like this, because this is like approval thing to me, this person handing off, looks like a number one to this person. And then on the weights, you got 6, or is that a 3? No, it's a 3. You have a 3 and a 5 in these scales. No one can, I always say this, no one can measure your worth or your value. Not one person on this earth can measure your worth or your value, especially not off of superficial things. You're number one, or you are who you are because you say so, not because someone else tells you so, or because the world says X, Y, and Z. And for some of y'all too, and I know the superficial people in the house is going to be like, no, there is a such thing of a rating or number, or you're average at best, ninjas out there. Stop, like, rating yourself off of a number. Like, you're fitting into a matrix. Like, this is just my opinion. Y'all probably think I'm off the handles when I say this, but when you adhere to like numbers and like you place certain labels and titles over yourself, everything has a vibrational frequency. So if you're going around allowing people to rate you and tell you that you're a 5 or a 7 at best, or you're a 10, you're a 9, or you're not quite all of that, whatever, or you do it to yourself, you're taking on a vibration that you have no idea what the fuck you're taking on. And you're walking in that. Just like if you adhere to stupid names that you're called to, where you start to take them in, you start to believe these things about yourself because a nothing ass motherfucker called you something stupid. You know what I mean? Like, kids call names. Like, children call each other names. Y'all know, if you've been a child, obviously you know what I'm talking about. You know, you're a child. in your lifetime. You've been a child. You grew up to be an adult. So obviously you know what it's like being a child, where you've heard people say, oh, so and so called me a name. Same thing. When an adult calls you a name, it's childish. It's stupid. So stop answering to these names, to these numbers and these archetypes. Break that shit off. Shake it off like Mariah Carey, child. Shake it off. 8 of Cups. Last card. 8 of Cups with the new plastics. The 8 of Cups, I feel like it's almost like a new cycle starts. And I feel guided and inclined to say that you don't want to create, because we will always have different types of vibrations and energies on the planet. It's just some humans evolve and some don't. But you don't want to be that one that repeats the cycle, whether it's you repeating it all again through yourself or through future generations, your children or people around you that may be influenced by your energy. But you're not responsible for another human being, but you can control how you show up in the world. So there's something about breaking the mold, breaking the cycle, walking away from it. Because the truth is, when people try to fit in, if you've ever been a person that tried to fit in, because I feel like every person in this world to some degree has tried to fit in, whether it's with their family, whether it was with school students, whether it was coworkers, whether it's with romantic partners, just as a collective, as a whole, as a, I hate using it, but I mean, I am on YouTube, so hey, a YouTuber or a content creator, as that, when I'm coming on here, like on a platform and sharing, there has been a part of my journey where I've tried to fit in because I thought that that's what I needed to do. This is the lane that is going in this way, and it just didn't resonate, right? So when you do that, there's a part of you, when you try to fit in, you're compromising parts of yourself. Important parts of yourself, most definitely. You're compromising you because you're not in control, or you're not allowing yourself to control your own narrative in life, your mind, will, and emotions, aka your soul. When you give up the things that, you know, your mind, meaning like your thoughts, your ideas, your truths, your will meaning your intent, your motives, your actions, and your emotions, how you feel. When you forfeit all of those things, that's when they say, that's how they say you sell your soul. You're forfeiting it for, in exchange for something else, to fit into something else, a mold that does not belong to you, never did belong to you, wasn't supposed to belong to you, and very well isn't for you, right? So you compromise a part of yourself and you still feel empty. You still feel empty. It's not enough. It's still not filling your cup. So you're still seeking, you're still searching for that 9th cup. You're still searching for that 10th cup. Give yourself some grace though, y'all, because, you know, if you're resonating with this, and as we all should, because we've all been through it. Humans like to feel connectivity. They like to feel that sense of village and community and home with others, you know, to feel proud and to be seen by those that they love. But we become, you know, over time in society, just thirsty to just be seen by any means. And that comes from a deep-seated place of trauma, the need to be praised and recognized, the need to, oh, I have this big platform and shit like that, because not all viewership is good viewership. And I think I said this before, maybe I said this like in a personal reading to someone, that an evil eye on you, in my opinion, personally, just how I feel energetically, spiritually, an evil eye on you does not always have to be a hater or someone that's plotting against you or wishing ill towards you. Sometimes the evil eye could be a perverted eye, someone that's lusting after you, someone that is looking at you less than a human, or not just seeing you just beyond flesh and handsomeness or beautifulness or whatever, or sexiness. and they look at you in that perverted sense. That to me is an evil eye effect as well, if you ask me. So not all viewership is good. Or people that have their eye on you that may seek to, like, how can I be like them, and that's energy vampirism. And again, it goes back to trauma. The fear of not being good enough as you are, and if only I was more like this, and only if more people would just validate me or appreciate me or see me, then I'll feel good about myself. I watched a really good video on YouTube. I think I liked it. I think it's in my likes. It was a really good video that this man had made, and he was talking about the effects of fame. And he used different clips, and one of the clips was from Lady Gaga, and she was opening up at Madison Square Garden, y'all. Like, that's like the pivotal for every US artist to open up at Madison Square Garden, let alone like sell out a show in Madison Square Garden. She reached that pivot, like that pivotal, like that, you know, next to probably having like Grammys and shit like that. But she was like crying in her documentary, and she was like, I still don't feel good enough, you know, like I just, and I'm paraphrasing, she was crying and she's like, I still don't feel good enough, you know, and I want to prove to all the people that bullied me and told me that I wasn't good enough. I want to still prove to myself, but I still don't feel good about myself. I still don't feel enough. So it doesn't even fucking matter. Because again, using her as an example, you're still living in this, I'm trying to prove myself to people, not yourself. Not saying to herself, I'm Lady Gaga and I'm proving to myself that I can do this, that my music, my creativity, I can sell out shows, that my music does touch lives. Like, instead, she's worrying about bullies from fucking way back when she was in her adolescence. She's still trying to prove that. And these motherfuckers probably at home, probably jealous as shit. Like, oh, we used to make fun of her. We used to call her names. And this bitch is selling out shows on Grammys and stuff like that. But she's sitting here allowing these motherfuckers to live rent-free in her mind at Madison Square Garden. Like why? Trauma. Brokenness. A person that has not put the pieces of themselves or working to put themselves back together to where they don't seek that validation anymore. Or when they find themselves falling back into it, they say, oh, no. Like, if you think about it, as crazy as it sounds, like somebody as big as Lady Gaga, that's like a household name artist. She may not be somebody that I listen to, but I know who Lady Gaga is. Been in Hollywood movies, been performing at big award shows, opening up at Madison Square Garden, has fans from all over the world. And bitch, you crying over some bullies from childhood, girl. No, because people don't go in, like, fame within itself, to me, seeking fame, you have to have some level of emptiness to want to be praised and worship. I say that all the time. There's something inside of, if you have to seek validation from people, strangers you don't even know. And all praise is not good praise. I wouldn't, a million years, I would never want to be fucking famous. I wouldn't want to be on no motherfucking shade room. Like, oh, this bitch went out to dinner and some dude is walking behind her and they just make a whole story off of that. And now she in a relationship with, like, no. I don't see why anybody would want to be famous. Have all these eyes on them. I don't get it. I don't see the hype in it at all. Shit, I like privacy and shit. Like, I share what I want to share, but no, motherfucker, like, no, I just don't get the desire for people to, like, say your name and praise you. Like, you want to be idolized. You want to be put on a pedestal. You want to, like, be put in a sense of, like, glorification by other humans, which is sick, in my opinion. Like, you're human too. So I just don't get it. But I said all that to say, like, just bringing it back home, Using that video, that documentary, that clip from Lady Gaga, where you can have everything that you sought for, that you said you wanted, that you said would help validate you, would make you feel like somebody. But if you don't have that whole, those pieces of yourself that are broken, put back together, or at least most of them being put back together where you're still sorting it through, you're going to feel empty because your motives were not right. You are seeking things outside of yourself. When you seek outside of yourself, you're never going to be whole or fulfilled. Never. I don't even care if it's money. Money can take care of your bills, but then the other shit you got going on in your life or going on inside of you, you're still going to sit with that and be like, oh, fuck. That shit don't go away. Smoke that shit away, it'll come right back. Go, go splurge, go shop, buy a whole bunch of shit, come back home, sit down, be like, fuck, what did I just do? Still feel that shit inside. Drink yourself away until you pass out and wake up in the morning, shit's still there. Motherfuckers that moved on with their lives, you're still wallowing in that. Like, no, you gotta deal with that. I'm sorry, like, sorry but not sorry. Like, it's not gonna go away until we deal with it within ourselves. It's not gonna go away. It's not. It is not going to go away, child, until you deal with it. It's not. You have to have the courage to be the one that says, I'll do it. I'll be the one that fixes this. And I can't say this for sure, but I feel like God used my daughter to stop me on the track that I was on, because I was like kind of like a sheltered kid in a sense. Like, my parents allowed me to do certain things, but I did have like a very protective family that made sure that certain things, like, I wasn't getting into certain things I had no business. Like, my grandma was very like intuitive about people. Like, she could tell if a girl was not really a good friend, or the girl was fast or into stuff that she had no business. Like, my grandma would like, she would show, she the thing about my grandma, she would tell you she don't like you, or she'll just, like, her energy alone would be like, bitch, I don't fuck with you. And there's those friends that she did love, and those were people that were good in my life. But I feel like God had me have my daughter so young at the time, because at that time I was wilding. Like, when I got old enough to go out and do shit, no, I was wilding. I was out there, and I was searching and trying to fit into some identity that was not for me, what I thought was desirable by men, because I sought my validation through men. The wrong men too. So she stopped me because, and why I say that is because when I had a child, my choices, I thought about my life choices way more because of her. I had to think for her and not just about myself. I started making better decisions of what I wanted to do with my life. I started to think about things like that a little bit more, and not just talking about it, or just like partying, or just shacking up with dudes and stuff like that. Like, no, I had to correct myself for my child. And that led me to look at myself, like the parts of myself that were really fucked up. So, and it's still a journey, like every day. It's still a journey because I had a child young. I didn't get to live out my 20s completely free of that. So a lot of times, I had to pass up a lot of like my 20s of like fucking around and playing around and doing. I didn't have that to do because I had to consider her. So it's still like sorting through the 20-year-old and healing the inner child stuff and all of that. So I'm grateful for that child. Okay, literally that child. Yes. Because I want it to stop with me. I don't want her to walk the same path or have to figure out certain things that I didn't have to go through, or figure it out late in life. You know what I mean? Or come into things too young. Like I want her to, she's already a power force all within herself at her 14 years of age, but she she deserves to have a better type of partnering relationship with her mother than what I had with mine. She deserves that. So that's the reason why I check myself and what helps me keeping myself in check. Because I'm like, nah, I have a child. I can't do that. Let alone I have a daughter. So I don't want me, like the parts of me that are broken, to repeat itself in her and through her life. I just, so no. Nope. So, because I noticed like let me see, one number is missing because we have 6, 7, 8, and then 10, but we have a 9 missing. So, makes me think of like the nines and like the 9 of wands specifically, the 9 of swords specifically, the more challenging cards. So the nines are usually the cards of mastery, where we grow, we excel past a certain level, right? So the nines not being here means like there might still be something that you have yet to confront yet. There might be something that you're being called to right now that maybe it's a fear, maybe it's past, situations that kind of keep you stagnant and not sure of yourself, but you're on the cusp of breaking. Like you have the free will choice to do that. It's up to you. You want to break it, you got to have the courage to break it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to use, let me see, my little bootleg oracle cards I just got. I think I'm going to pull like one of each of these 3. So I'm going to start off with the Inspirational Wicca. I think I'm going to get this one. I'm going to have to find this one. I think it's on Amazon because I want the guidebook to this, because these cards, they're very interesting. I was drawn to them, but I want to know more, like what they actually mean. So I'm going to have to get this one. I think this is going to be like a little travel, like keep it with me in my purse type of thing. Yeah. Let's see. Divine Spirit. Because I have a whole bunch of little bootleg pocket little decks, and I love them because I can put them in my purse or clutches. Thank you, Spirit, for your divine wisdom, divine guidance for this collective. I might not use the African Tarot after all, because I feel like the message is already like pretty clear with those ones right there that I just pulled. Okay, so we have Perfume of the Divine. That's funny. So I don't know, ladies, if you guys watched the reading that I did, the Divine Mother message, like the channel message from the Divine Mother, I talked about in the channeling, I think, about perfume, like your perfume, your essence. So it says the perfume of the divine, like this is your divine energy, your divine essence that, it depends. It's like your essence is powerful, but do you believe it? Do you believe the power of your energy? Okay, let's see. Your essence, just you, your authentic self, do you believe in the power of it? All right, let's see. Let's see. Divine Source Guide, what is the message for this collective of people? Secrets. If you have a pendulum, you got a message of peace at the bottom of the deck and freedom. I feel like some of you guys, if you guys are spiritual people yourself, like intuitive, maybe a pendulum, I don't know. There's different ways to use a pendulum besides just asking yes or no or maybe. There's something about like you gathering some sort of message that gives you the clarity that you need, like finding maybe like, okay, so where do I start with this healing, or what should I do, or what is it that's blocking me, and it comes to you in a form of peace. Like Divine Source Guide. What are the messages? Water. Okay. So seashell with the heart. Some of you guys do need to do some type of spiritual cleansing around your heart. And then at the bottom of the deck is love. Yeah. Something with the heart space. Nourish. Yep. Yeah. Something about the health of your heart. You got some sort of work to do around the heart chakra. Something that's going to come up to be released, I feel, around your heart chakra. Okay. So, let me see what numbers we have. Number 25, another 7. So you have 2 7s here, 7 of cups, and then 25. So 6 and 7 are, yeah, 2 plus 5 is 7, right? So 7, 77, which 7 plus 7, that's 14. 1 plus 4, that's 5. So the vibration of 5, change. And then you have number 28, 9 10s, essentially a 1. So it's up to you to uncover the truth of what you need to heal and what you need to release. It's up to you to do this, to take this initiative, okay? To come into that awareness of what it is or to seek it out, okay? All right, y'all. I'm going to leave it at that. I hope I didn't, wasn't too harsh on y'all, okay? I try to, it comes out very passionately. I'm not angry at y'all. I'm not. It's just passion, okay? It's just... So I send you guys the utmost love and peace, y'all. Don't forget, do that mirror thing. To send yourself some love, energy, and do it as often as you need to. Do it daily. Maybe do it once in the morning and one time before you go to bed. Speak some love affirmations over yourself. And it could be as simple as saying, I love you, so-and-so, and looking at yourself in the eye. And it may feel so uncomfortable, so cringy, disgusting, maybe even. It might make you cry. But at least when you know something hitting, if you start to cry, you're breaking something off. And that's beautiful. Keep doing it until it becomes natural to you and it feels good to do it. We're going to do it together, y'all. Let's do it together, okay? We're going to all, just hold yourself accountable daily. Night, and then at day, and then at night. Count, do it that way. Look yourself in the eye, and it might be uncomfortable. Take a deep breath. Like, when I, do the mirror stuff, sometimes it's just like, oh, my God, this is so cringy, so uncomfortable, and especially when you look like a crackhead sometimes in the morning. Like, you don't want to, So, you just have to breathe and be like, okay, yes. And it could be days where you feel like you're a fucking mess inside, and just empower yourself to do it, because you can do it. You can. You just have to be willing to do it and willing to show up for yourself. That's what self-love is, showing up for yourself. It's not about being perfect and being pretty or being handsome or at least all the time or feeling good all the time. Showing up for yourself even when it's hard to show up for yourself. Really. Because we will have our days. But you can regulate how you respond to those days. Some days you just don't want to, you're not in the mood. And in that case, don't be a fucking asshole. Go somewhere and leave people alone. Go in your little corner, cry, write, journal, whatever. But leave people alone when you're in a funky ass mood. It's not fair to everybody else. And sometimes maybe you need people. But if you need help, allow people to help you. But if you're not in the space to receive help, or you don't want to have any type of positive effect, and you just want to be a bitch or asshole, no, that's unacceptable. You need to do better than that. You need to grow up. So if you have those days where you know that you're not in a good space and you just want to kind of just sit in it sometimes, that's okay. Like, you have a day where you just want to be to yourself. That's fine. And then there's days where it's like, no, I don't want to feel like this. Let me do something about it. Let me go walk, take a walk at the park, or let me call a friend. They got therapists. They got 24/7. Like, if you feeling something, they got a hotline for every motherfucking thing. They got a hotline if you feel like you want to break a window. Like, you could call somebody and just talk. something that is going to be a helpful shift to where you are. Because in that sense, when you're able to do that, that's why I say you're in your authority. When you're able to balance out your energies and your emotions, it's not to say that you shouldn't feel negative things, but when you recognize a negative thought, how you respond to it, and if you choose to respond in a way where you transmute the energy into a positive effect or solution, you are in your power. The moment you get in that funky ass energy, or you get in that toxic motherfucking energy, and you start like, that's when you're not in your power. You're giving your power and authority away to negative energies, negative emotions, allowing things to trigger you to the point of oblivion, to where you can't control yourself or contain yourself. You are not in governance of your own being. You're not in your power when you're in that energy. You're just not. You might feel like it because you're giving into it, be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna be a fucking asshole today. No, bitch. You're not. You're not in control. You gave into that lower vibrational energy. It's got your ass in a chokehold. Really, literally. Whoever's offended by that, it is what it is. Like, I'm speaking to that spirit that be in people that no. Sometimes you got to tell that shit to pipe down. Because I remember, like, one time, I think I shared this before, but it was like a quick little moment I had. I was about to go out somewhere, and I started having these negative thoughts, and I said, bitch, no. You shut your ass up. I'm not taking that with me. That energy is not going with me. Like, nah, bitch. Like, that sounds crazy. Like, but sometimes you got to, like, shut that shit down. However you need to shut it down. Because if I would have just gave into it, then I would have been powerless. I would have been, oh, you're right. You're right. And just walked in that funky ass energy. I would have gave my power away in that moment. No. Not everything deserves a reaction or a response. Some things are just meant to be transmuted and left the fuck alone. Like, okay, I could cuss this bitch out today, but I'm not going to do that. Let me focus on something else that is more positive, something that gives me joy, whatever. Like, this doesn't deserve my energy nor my time. Fuck it. I'm not going to waste my breath on that. You know what I mean? Like, that's self-governance. Hey, Nina. Greetings. Yeah, that's regulating and having authority over your energy. Yeah. So every now and then you do have to check yourself and be like, we're not doing this today, child. We ain't doing it. Fuck that. No, thank you. Like, I get it. One of my coworkers in the past, she said something that was real interesting. She told me this crazy ass story, because racism, this is like off topic but not off topic. She was talking about how she used to get really angry with racist people, and like she had this encounter where this woman, no, it was a guy. It was a guy and a woman, and they, I guess, they had somebody in the car with them, a little person, right? Because this story is it's a little ratchet, right? You live and you learn. So she was like, basically, the guy had said something racist to her while she was in the car. She, like, I guess, followed them, whatever. She followed them to, I think she said, like, a Burger King or McDonald's, one of those fast food places. The couple got out. She walked up to the dude and whooped his girlfriend's ass on behalf of him doing what he did. She's like, this is your karma. Now your little one got to be traumatized by watching their mama get their ass beat. And I was like, that's a little, it's cold, bitch. That's a little cold. Like, but that rage that she had, yeah. that little rage. And she said at that time she knew, because like over time, over experiences that she would have where she would encounter racist people, she would notice that it was an energy feed for them to get emotions riled up, which is why I try not to feed too much into like stuff that's going on in the world, like race baiting stuff or content where, let's say, like people talking about black people are this, or black women are all this and this and that, or black men are all that. Like, to feed into that content all the time is very toxic. It gets views. It's like the algorithm pushes it, or you see comments. Like if you go click on like something, let's say on TMZ or the Shade Room, those little shitty ass little blogging places, and you scroll and you look at the comments, and then you'll see like some racist shit here and there. It's like things to feed your energy. So that's how I know racism is a spirit or a demon or demonic energy, because it feeds. It's irrational too. It doesn't have a rationality in its mind. It's like stupid things like, how do you hate people because of the way that they look, or their skin color, their hair texture, or just come up with all these things and comparing them to animals and like just dumb shit. Like, it's childish and it's demonic. You know what I mean? Like, again, it doesn't have a rationality behind it. It's stupid. Literally. It's just foolery. So she said she stopped feeding into racism a long time ago because she recognized that it was a spirit that was trying to get validation from her. So once she recognized that, she had to control her emotions, because she was one of those people that were like, you know, kind of like black power, like, I'm going to stand up and defend, but there's a way to do it. And she said, I'm going to do something. I'm going to shift the energy differently. I'm not going to feed into it anymore. Right? And racism is something that ticks me the fuck off too, because I didn't had an altercation with a Caucasian man. I had an altercation with him because he was like talking crazy about me and my mom, and I blacked the fuck out and picked up a whole grown man with my average height ass. I picked that man off the ground, y'all, like a grown ass man. That type of shit, it's a spirit that feeds, and it came at like the right time, but it was like the wrong time at the same time, because like that was just that was something that should have never happened, right? But I would have preferred not to have experienced that. But at that time, I was watching a lot of documentaries about just a lot of negative things that have happened over time, and just seeing like the history, like racism and stuff over time. I watched these documentaries and I had so much fuel in me, so much sadness. I had anger, I had confusion, all kind of energies, right? So that man came around that time where I was indulging in those type of documentaries, and it was like right time, wrong time at the same time. Like, and that's the energy thing. Like, I could have responded to that very differently, yes. Sometimes you just gotta handle some motherfuckers. Sometimes you just have to. Like, you have to. But, you know what I mean? I bet you he'll never walk up to another woman again and say no shit like that ever again. Because he got arrested after that, shortly after. Somebody called the police on him outside. Dude was drinking. Obviously, he was drunk. He was dressed up in a tuxedo like he just came from a party or something. So you can imagine what that looked like at the end for him when he got pulled over. So, anywho, yeah, it happened the way that it happened. Looking back at it, I probably wouldn't have responded that way, but yeah. No, I just lifted him off the ground and looked him in the eye real quick, and that was it. I wasn't there. Like, I blacked out. Literally. I don't even remember. I don't even know how I lifted a grown man off the ground. I don't know. Like, I'm not like a tall bitch or no. I'm not a WNBA bitch, like, at all, by any means. And this was a full grown man. He wasn't short. He wasn't petite. I don't know how the fuck I did that. But say all that to say, do not feed into energies. Like, some things do not warrant your response. Some things just do not. They don't. They do not warrant your response. Demons have to use tactics. They have to use fear tactics. They have to use intimidate. They have to poke at you. That's the only way they can get your attention. That's how energy feeds work. It has to, if it needs a feed, it has to find a way to poke at you. it can't come into the space and just naturally, you know, like powerful people just naturally come into a space and their energy speaks for itself. Energies that are not as powerful, low level power or powerless, it has to like, like I'm gonna, you know, it has to look at me. Yeah. So that's why you don't pay that shit no mind. You just can't. People that have healthy, happy lives, they're not concerned about motherfuckers that, oh, what you doing? Or you think you this and you think you that, or, you know, hater shit, or just fucking with people. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make no sense. Like, people are miserable. Misery loves company. That's why I love, like, I always talk about the trap witch. I love that heifer. Like, anytime somebody comes at her, like, she will educate a motherfucker and put him in line in a healthy way. She has the audacity to be her authentic self, even if people don't like it. And I love it. Because people just find the need to be like, oh, you have the audacity to pop out and be in your light. Oh, bitch, let me like rain on your parade. Like, you ain't all that, or you're this and you're that. Like, that's a demonic, like, you got to think about it. Because most of y'all that's like at least commenting, I know that you guys have, y'all got good energy. So y'all can feel me on this. Because you would never do this to another person, is what I'm saying. So, like, if you see something you don't like, you might say to yourself, oh my God, why the fuck did they post that? Or why are they wearing that? Like, Like, you might not agree with something, but you're not going to be like, ew, you're fat and disgusting. Why are you wearing this? And then, like, type it up and send it. Like, you're fucking miserable. Most people don't give a fuck. They don't. They don't give a fuck. They'll move on. They'll look at it. They might talk about it with their friends, like, girl, did you see what so-and-so had on? That was crazy, blah, blah. But you're not going to walk up to so-and-so and be like, oh, my God, that dress is so fucking ugly. You are so stupid. Like, why are you wearing that? So when you see people do stuff like that, especially grown-ass motherfuckers, grown-ass women and grown-ass men doing that, they're sad as fuck. You have to be. I can't even imagine myself ruining somebody's day because I don't like something that they have on, or I don't like something about them. And it's like, bitch, why are you looking? Turn your head, walk away, or log off whatever the fuck environment you're in. Why are you watching? Why are you looking? You must like what the fuck you see. You must like it. Or because you don't have the confidence to wear what the fuck you want to wear or say what you want to say without offending or hurting people's feelings, you don't have it in you to do it. You don't have the confidence, you don't have the audacity to be your authentic self without tearing another person down. And that's why you're a hater. That's why they hate. That's why, child. It's laughable. Like, it's like kiddie shit. Like some of these men that be like watching, that used to watch the Kevin Samuel stuff just to get a kick out of women being humiliated. It's fucking demon. That's sick as fuck. That's disgusting. And the women that subjugated themselves to even be rated and all that, and being told that they're average at best and they're gonna be single forever, and that man that forfeited his purpose because he started off with a whole different type of content that was meant to help the male collective, and he shifted it into race baiting and the degrading of women to get views and get money from YouTube. And not only that, giving permission for men to feed into that type of energy rather than better empower themselves. It became a thing of feeding off of women's pain. And I hate that so much. And I feel so bad for Kevin Samuels, because I feel like, say what you will, but that kind of felt like I don't know, just something that he had coming to him. Like, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But yeah, like, I just don't like it. You know, I don't like people that go out of their way to hurt people and make people miserable. I don't like that. Or at least attempt to make people miserable. Because that shit doesn't work on everybody. Because some people see through the bullshit. So, you know, it's just so petty. Like, I can go on and on with all that. Like, just how to spot energy vampires. Because energy vampires are not just people that come around and be like, oh, you got some money, let's hang out, and try to, like, live off of you or eat off of you. Or it could be people that simply seek to take away your light and your shine, or try to get you, because they can't. This is the thing. I want y'all to catch this real quick, because this is coming to me. Nobody can take or dim your light. You do that. How do you do that? When you give away your power. Because they can't do it without your permission. An energy vampire cannot suck from you unless you allow them to. Unless you give them the authority to. When you, through your reactions, through your responses, through you agreeing to it and believing it and feeding into it. That's how you do it. They're not powerful enough. They can't just wield the energy that way. They have to provoke you into that. And it's only when you believe it or give into it, that's when they got you. Yeah. It does. That is true. Nis says she wouldn't even talk about it with her friends. Right. And Nina said that good people are the strongest because humans' default is to negativity and judgment. So it takes a real effort not to be a shitty person. It's a choice. Exactly. Like I said, real authority, real power, and self-governance comes from checking yourself and choosing and sorting through, do I respond or react like this, or do I just counteract that negativity and do something to shift it? Powerless people don't know how to do that. Only a child thinks that they're powerful when they're stomping their feet, throwing themselves on the floor. Mommy, I'm upset. Look at me throwing stuff around. And that's childish shit. That's how kids get attention. And some of that shit don't work with certain mamas and daddies. Like, they don't play that with you, right? Some of y'all probably had parents that let y'all do that shit. And that's why you think you can go in the world and throw temper tantrums and people just supposed to just bend to your will. No. Nope. Power does not demand, force, intimidate. It just is. It just is. That's it. It really does require you being a strong person, strong-willed person. It requires you to be a disciplined person. It requires you to have some level of respect for yourself. Like, honestly, for real. Like that guy, a part of me, I'm not proud of the fact that I had to get into an altercation, you know, period. Whether it was a man or a woman, I probably wouldn't have really been that proud of it. Did I need to protect and defend myself and my mother? Yes. So that part I'm grateful for. And also probably, you know, to teach his ass a lesson. Like I said, I bet you'll never walk up to a woman and talk crazy like that ever again. But the response and the reaction probably would have, had, who knows what could have happened. It could have went another way, right? So learning my lesson with that, with just anything that is energy charged, emotionally charged, anger charged, to regulate those emotions and really think it through before I respond and react to things, right? So that takes a level of strength, a level of maturity. You know what I mean? Like, it does. To maintain a positive energy is work, and not a lot of people are willing to do that. And I'm learning that, and I have learned that in other ways, as I'm still learning in other ways. Like, it requires effort, for real. And some people don't want to do the work because they don't want to do the work on themselves. They don't want to take accountability. They don't want to look at themselves for real, for real. It's easy to blame the world. It's so easy to do that. If I can blame everything and everybody for my problems and not have to look at myself for once, life would just... But at the same time, like, your life is never going to change that way. You're going to continue to live a life of letting everyone have power and control over your mind because you don't have power and control over your own. Literally, like Lady Gaga, like I explained, how she sat there and kids that bullied her in her childhood still live rent-free in her adult mind as she's sitting in her dressing room at Madison Square Garden. She's given her power away to them. And that's motherfucking crazy. That's insane that they still have power over her emotions, and how she sees her self-worth is insane. I wish I would let a motherfucker. I wish. I'm at Madison Square Garden and I'm thinking about people that I wish a motherfucking would. Really? No. And I feel for her. I feel sad. Like, that's a horrible thing. But at the end of the day, again, it's a choice. Like, you choose, like, to say, that hurt me. And I'm going to prove to myself that I am nothing like what they said I was and never could be, but not for them, but for me. I choose who I am. This is my music. This is my creativity. And I'm proud of it. If people fuck with it, it's amazing that these many people would pay to come see my ass. That is amazing, right? Instead of being like, I still don't feel good enough, like, I do it for, like, that's crazy. Like, I couldn't believe that shit. Like, that is insane to me. If you allow everything and anything and anyone that has ever hurt you in life to dictate your future completely, like, you're giving your power away to it. That's how you have to look at it. Like, that's something that I've learned, like I said, in different facets. Like, the more I cry over, oh, this guy broke my heart and he cheated on me and he said this, and this person said this to me and my friends did this in the past, and living in that, you're giving them power over your life. Because them motherfuckers is probably living, or probably don't even remember they said that shit to you, or probably didn't mean it like that. It still hurts, yes. But we carry it so heavily. We let it live rent-free in our mind. And some things, like, and Nina knows, because we had this conversation yesterday, that we can carry a whole scenario in our mind and think, oh, this person said this or they did this, and thinking that it was about you or to spite you or to hurt you. And the whole time this other person is like, what the fuck? Like, no, like, this is what it was. This is what it... And you can go around with that narrative that, oh, I feel like my friend, she posted this about fake friends because she talking about me. Like, bitch, like, where are you getting that from? Yeah. Yeah, you have to make your mind a safe place to live. You have to. You're never going to be able to open yourself up to real love. You're still worried about the dude or the woman or whatever, the person that cheated on you or lied to you, or that time that this person called you a name or said you were whatever, this, and that. And you live with that. You hold that in your heart. You're giving your power away to that moment, to that energy, to that person, to that situation. You're giving it away. How do you take your power back? How do you do that? You better yourself. You fix you. You focus on positive things in your life. You do productive things that are healthy for yourself and those around you. You better you. That's it. Trying to one up somebody. Oh, I'm going to show him I got a new man. I'm happy. Or, oh, I'm going to show all my friends I got this new Maserati and these bitches thought, oh, they was stunting on me. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. They're living rent free in your motherfucking head. Bitch, you didn't get that car because you wanted to get it. You got it because you was trying to stunt on your girlfriends. Like, really? Like your ex-girlfriends? You only with this guy, you only accepted his relationship or his proposal or whatever the fuck because you wanted to stunt on the next dude? Wow. Or seek to harm and hurt somebody because that's your way of, I don't know what. Like, that's stupid. That's dumb. Oh, I'm going to go get a BBL because I want him to want me back. I'm going to show him I'm a bad bitch. Like, that's, so you're going to sit up here and go cut your shit up. Just cut your ass up, cut your stomach up and all that, and go through months of pain out of this world so you can get back at a dude that probably wasn't even worth the nip in the tuck. What the fuck? For real. Like, that's the insanity there. That's the insanity. It's never gonna, it's that shit, I'm telling you, like, you think that it's gonna make you feel good. It's not gonna make you feel good. In the moment, your ego is gonna feel like, I bet you so-and-so's jealous. She see my new car. And then next thing you know, like, this bitch is on a yacht somewhere in Dubai or something with a rich dude. And then if that's what you aspire to is like materials, you're going to be jealous and mad again. So now what? What else you going to conjure up to make her jealous, to get back at her? Like, this is the type of shit that I had to put it like this because that's real things. People really are like that. What do you get out of it for a moment? Because I guarantee you would still be miserable, right? That's why I say it's best to really be in your power and heal. That friendship hurt me. That relationship hurt me. That childhood situation hurt me. How do I counteract that? Oh, okay. I want to be a healthier parent to a child. I want to create a healthier environment that I never had for them. Or I'm going to heal so I can open myself up to a real healthy relationship, to a good man, to a good woman. That friendship really hurt me. That person really backstabbed me, but I have to heal that. Move in better discernment and open up to people that are like-minded, people that, resonate, where people that uplift each other and so on and so forth. That's how you better yourself. It requires effort from you, though. It's easy to be an asshole to other people. It's easy to try to, like, backbite and backstab and get even and all. That shit's easy because it takes no effort but just being evil. But to move in a healthy manner, that requires accountability for yourself, over your life, over your environment, over how you affect other people. It's much more cheaper than getting a BBL, I promise you. It costs you nothing. Probably a couple of therapy sessions or some shit like that. But it's way cheaper than a BBL, I guarantee you that. Or spending money on a wedding with somebody you don't really want just because you wanted to get back at your ex. Like, I'm pretty sure it would cost nothing to fix yourself. But your effort. That's it. Yep. 5 cents a day. I'm just like, anyway, no, really. I'm not gonna lie, it's not that easy all the time. Like, in some instances, it might be a little easier than others to check yourself or to, like, do something healthy for yourself or say, oh, I'm gonna take a motherfucking walk because This motherfucker made me mad. Or I just had an argument with my spouse. I need to go take a walk rather than I'm going to cheat on my spouse. I'm going to fuck somebody because I'm so mad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to get even. Like, that's fucking stupid. That's dumb. It's fucking stupid. I don't know what else to say. We all done it. Shit. We all done some shit like, oh, I'm gonna show him. Like, half the time that nigga ain't worried about you. He's somewhere fucking somebody else. Like, they don't care. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that shit is crazy. Whole time, like, you was just like the second one, you know? Like, you have to pick your battles when choose your battles. Yes. Or you have a good friend and they will check you. Yes. That's the beauty of it too. Like sometimes we hyperfix, like we focus on all the motherfuckers that the men that don't treat us right, or the women, oh, all the women do this, and or the the shitty friends that you used to have, and you know you focus on that, right? You focus on that and you don't even see the people around you that really have your best intentions and that really love you, because you're so focused on who doesn't, that you don't see that you have love and support. It's all about perspective too. That's another thing. Like, and I'm not like, because I don't want y'all to misconstrue, because people will take the message how they gonna take it. But I'm saying this not to like be mean or anything like that. Like I say it just like it just is what it is, right? But I say it out of, and not also from a place like I know everything and I'm better than, like, no. No, like literally I just had like a misunderstanding with my friend yesterday, like over some shit that had nothing to do with me. Like I didn't, and that needed to be sorted through, literally. So we hashed that out. We talked about it. So I'm not perfect in every angle of this and that. And like, no, like none of us are. But to call some shit out as it is, like to help people, yeah. But it's up to you, because again, like to fix your life or areas of your life that need the fixing, and parts of yourself that need a little bit more tender love and care and patience and work, that requires an effort on your behalf. Paying a therapist, they're not going to do it for you either. They're going to help you sort through it, just as a friend or someone, a loved one will help you. A professional is going to help you in sorting it through, but you have to do the work though. It's always going to be a willing participation for you to do it. The first step is always the one that you should congratulate yourself for, because at least you stepped into, making a change or progress for yourself. You took some sort of initiative. You should be proud that you even did that, because most people are going to continue to sweep shit under the rug. I know people that are in their 60s that will never fucking change and do not want to change. They don't want to take accountability. They make excuses for themselves, continue to do the same old fuck shit that they do, never growing, never learning. That's unfortunate. You don't want to be one of those people. You make your own life miserable. You don't want to do that. Exactly. You don't want to be those people. Like, let it go. Stop allowing things to live rent free in your mind, or people to live rent free in your mind, that it doesn't matter. Like, I just, yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't know what else to say other than I just pray that this message helps. I know my delivery is not probably like the Disney princess version and the love and light, you know, tarot message of the day, you know, type shit. Um, but I do hope it's effective in some way, you know, to help people positively because, hey, so, yeah. Yes, indeedy, Ray. We're going to leave it at that. I love this deck. This is cute. Shout out to this. I might watch Mean Girls. I'm not watching that new one. That shit look trash. I'm not watching that. But yeah, they have a little guidebook in here. But I'm going to get the official one when it comes out next year. But I had to get this. Like, Temu, yeah, Temu had this deck on deck. And I had to get it. I think it was the last one, too. But I think they restocked, like, if not the next day, like, pretty soon after. Because I think I seen it on there again. But I got the last one that was available at the time. So I was like, yes, bitch. We gonna get this, okay? We needed this one. And I have some decks. The Mean Girls. It's the plastic deck. The plastics. The movie Mean Girls deck. But, yeah. So this deck right here, I'm going to probably do, like, a flip through of this. And then also review the creator of this deck, the other decks that I have of hers as well. Because I have another tarot deck of hers and 2 oracle decks of hers. So, but this one, though, is not available. She only made this available for a limited time. But I had to support because all her other decks are fire. But this one by far, like, I had to tell her, listen, I had to hit her up and like, sis, you ate with this. You really did. She really did. And I like the way she adds, like, oracles. And also she added some zodiacs in here. Like, all the, not some. She added all the zodiac signs in here. Their own card. A lot of detail. And then the extra cards are actually a form of, like, an old tarot tradition. Like, how, so you know how you have, I think it's strength, chastity, prudence, faith. I think it's the 7 virtues. I'm not naming all of them. Obviously, I can't think off the top of my head. But whatever the 7 virtues are, she added the virtues in this deck. So some of them are part of the major arcana and some of them are, like, additional cards. So I love this deck so much. And I only got it just yesterday. So I love it so much. It's a really dope deck. But yeah, so I'm sending you guys much love. As always, y'all take care, be blessed, be safe. If you guys would like to book a personal reading or a coaching session, like, sometimes we don't need tarot readings. We need coaching. We need some level of, like, someone to, like, help us, you know, get on track with things, get our mind focused. Like, okay, where do I place my focus here? Like, help you see your stumbling blocks, help you to see maybe, like, where you might be, you know, kind of blocking yourself in life. And speaking of that, I do have a reading service that I'm going to be offering, but it's way more than a reading. It's way deeper than that. But yeah, sometimes we just need coaching sessions. Like, we don't need to be just sitting here asking about, you know, is this going to happen? And when is this person going to come back? And how do they feel? And nothing wrong with wanting to know those things per se, but it's like some things need a little more extensive, like, deep dive into, as, like, if you're constantly finding yourself coming into the same issues and problems again in another situation, or the same situation repeating itself with the same person or whatever, there's something that is not, you know, something is not clicking. So it's like, okay, what are we not seeing here within ourselves? Why are we allowing this to go on? You know what I mean? That's where the coaching comes in. Or a reading that kind of, dives in a little bit more than that. And I feel like if people give me the permission to do that in their readings, cool. Sometimes that stuff will come right out. Like I've had to tell some ladies before, like, hey, like I'm not reading on this person anymore for you because I feel like whatever I'm saying is not registering. Like this person basically, like this person is not good for you. So you have to search within yourself, what is it that you're attached to? Why do you want this to work when it's not working? Like what is it about this situation? Go into those details within yourself, because tarot is not just here for us to fortune tell and tap into, a person's energy, which is why I try to provide guidance and advice beyond just telling you what I see, with the situation. Here's some guidance for you. I can tell you how someone feels. I can tell you whether you're going to get a job or an apartment. But what's a deeper thing that you need to dive into? Like tarot is meant to be reflective. Tarot is meant to help guide you to tap into your energy, where you are, what energies are at play within your situations, and you take what you will with that, sit with it, reflect, meditate on it. But sometimes we do need just a quick, like, okay, what do I need to know? Okay, cool, bang, it's done. Or I got something wrapped up in my mind, I'm trying to get clear, like, what's up? Okay. But if you find that you're running into the same situations again and again, you got to dive deeper. Sometimes tarot readings are just distractions for people too. Like that was a thing for me. Like sometimes it was just like the comfort of, oh, I want to hear what's going to happen with my day or some shit like that. The comfort of that. But don't abuse it, because it is a sacred tool. There is so much more in it for you than just like future tense or predictions and fortune tellings and romantic readings of how does someone feel, but like how does he feel, and if from there, what's my best solution with this? Like, because at the end of the day, you cannot dictate someone's actions. This person is going to move how they want to. And the tarot is not meant to predict a person's actions, although it can, not to say or limit it to the fact that it cannot do that, but that's not the move of it all the time. And that's not always helpful or constructive. So with information that you're given, you have to apply it in a way that is helpful to you. If you're getting a message that this person is confused, they don't know what they want to do, they care about you, but blah, 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 then it's up to you to be like, I don't know if I want to deal with somebody that's confused. Or maybe we need to have a conversation. Or if it's a thing of it's an ex and you're trying to see if this person still cares, and they care, but is it something you need to dwell on? Like if there's nothing happening, nothing you can do, or are you going to continue to live your life and move forward? You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes people just want to know that they're not tripping. I get that shit. I understand. I get it. But yeah, I would say, like, tarot readings, sometimes you might need to take a little break from that. Hey, take a little break, from watching, from getting reads or whatever. And if you do approach the tarot in a certain way, think about your questions a little more in depth and effectively. Like, okay, let me ask this question. Yeah. So I would be glad to help you guys. I'm going to probably do like some exclusive like content, non-reading content, but like just content to help, answer some questions for people with certain things that they are struggling with, especially when it comes to like love, their purpose, most importantly, like where they're at with themselves, like their personal journey with themselves, like their identity and where they, how to place their focus, and not to give them the answer in a sense of, yes, this is what you should do, but where to start, like where to go, where to start. Because it helps sometimes hearing it from someone else. Like, we might already know, like, okay, I knew I was supposed to, um, focus on X, Y, and Z, or I knew I needed to do this, blah, 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 X, whatever. Like, we always know. But um, to actually, like, pinpoint things, sometimes you do need to talk it out with someone else that can hear, because they can usually find where that block is, if that makes sense. They can usually pinpoint where it's at. Like, okay, I noticed that you do this, and you said that sometimes you do X, Y, and Z. So I feel like maybe this would be a better solution for you, or maybe try this. Like, it's always good to have an ear. You don't have to do everything by yourself, but you do have to take most of the effort and the initiative and control of your own situation. You know. Yes. Thank you, Nina. Yeah. It just puts shit into perspective. And as crazy as it sounds, y'all, like, I don't even know where some of these, like, messages and, like, I know where it comes from. It's coming from a higher place. But sometimes, like, when I'm reading, when I'm channeling and stuff like this, some of this shit, I be like, I need to do this. And I know that's why spirit does it too sometimes. Like, yeah, bitch, you do. Like, you need to apply this to yourself too. Literally. So I'm here with y'all, like, in some ways. And yeah. So may the message resonate with you guys how it's supposed to, and whatever parts of the messages are meant to resonate. Don't be a little, spiritually immature wussy and just, like, get upset because something rings true for you, and because it triggers you, you don't want to hear it, or you just chuck it up as something negative, rather than saying it's triggering me because most likely it's something that's still there. If it triggers, it's tapping on something. That's it. It doesn't have to be that deep. Like, it's not that deep. Like, everybody goes through something. And oftentimes we will come across things that will trigger us to get our attention, to let us know that, hey, there's something that hasn't been dealt with. That's it. It's not that special. Or that significant. Like, people take shit personal. Like, when something triggers you personally, you take it as the messenger is coming at you personally. Like, no, there's plenty of motherfuckers in the world that got shit going on, probably triggered by the same message, or if not triggered, then, like, damn, that's confirmation that that's something I need to see or look at or focus on or heal or release or move towards or whatever. Like, it's not that deep. You know what I mean? Like, because YouTube is a strange motherfucking place, I tell you, for real. And I'm just here to deliver a message. If it resonates with people, cool. If it triggers people, that's cool too, because obviously there's something that you need to heal. And it has nothing to do with the messenger itself. It might be the message that you're triggered by. Why? That's up to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because y'all be out here tripping. Like, I be seeing y'all comments and stuff on other readers' channels. Y'all be getting all mad and, I never said I wanted him back. Like, bitch, you probably do. You just lying to yourself. And it's okay. Like, if he's an asshole, I wouldn't want to still be pining after an asshole too. But that's where you need to work on yourself. Why do you still have a desire for this person? And don't shame yourself, but why do you still have a desire for them? That's all. Ain't got to be that deep. Like, getting mad at the readers and shit and getting mad at whoever else on TV. Like, just stop. You know what I mean? Like, get yourself together. Okay? Get it all together. Get it together. And some people ain't sane enough to do that. That's unfortunate. But for those of you that are sane enough to do it, and it's just a matter of, like, being a little more mature spiritually and saying, hey, not everything is going to tickle my asshole just because my parents let me throw a temper tantrum and said, here you go, Brittany. Here you go. You can have it. After you threw a temper tantrum and you meet a man that's, like, looking at you crazy, like, okay, so what? I didn't unpeel your orange. Like, bitch, I don't have to unpeel your orange. You can unpeel it for yourself. I'm not going to play into your sick TikTok game. And then throw a temper tantrum. Oh my God, there's no good man in the world. Like, that shit, like, people need to grow the fuck up. Like, that shit is scary. Like, scary as fuck. That's so fucking scary. And I say this because I'm laughing. Because when I was, like, in my early, like, let's say, like, 19, 20 years old, I used to be so jealous of everything that I had the biggest trust issues. And, like, anything would trigger me and be like, why are you looking at, like, it could be bitches on TV. Like, that is sick. That is, like, extremely sick. Oh my God. That was, like, extreme. Like, how I used to be so mad or just think, like, anything, be watching the waitresses walking by trying to see if he was looking at them. And, like, it was, that shit, like, that is horrible. Like, who wants to be with somebody like that? And who also, on the opposite end, the person that's doing it, that doesn't feel good to be that way. It doesn't, and then on top of that, you can't be present in your relationship because you acting like that. That's so childish. And that's how I feel about, like people that watch tarot sometimes, and not specifically like my subscribers, like those of you that, you know, I'm familiar with. I'm not familiar with all of my subscribers, so I don't know. But the ones that do pop up and talk and stuff like that, I don't get that vibe from y'all. You guys, for the most part, have been respectful. But, like, when I come across, like, other channels and stuff, or just over time, like, years, you know, nothing really recent, but just, like, over the years, I'll see comments and stuff from people that just really take this shit too personal, or they don't know how, like, they don't have, the, I guess the ability to, like, sort through or discern what's for them and, like, how to take it for themselves, because it's general. So, like, it's not someone that's personally tapping into your energy. Like, if you were to get a personal reading, obviously you and that person are exchanging energy. You're allowing that person to read you. When you're clicking onto a collective reading, sometimes, yes, you're tapping into a collective pool of other people's energies that might resonate with that same story, right? So naturally, you're going to find at least one thing that may resonate with you, that is supposed to speak to you. And sometimes it's just mindless scrolling and you see something that might, you know, stand out to you about it, whether it's the cards or a name, and then you click on it and it doesn't resonate with you. Most likely it wasn't for you, or maybe not at that time. So people will get on and not understand that concept and just think that because they watched the video, or because it's a Taurus video or an Aries video, that it's meant for them. And then they get mad and like, oh, that didn't resonate with me. And this and like, what the fuck? Like, y'all are so crazy. Or, I don't want this ex back. I don't know why you're pulling on my ex. I don't want to hear about them. It's just like, come on, for real. Like, this shit is free for the most part. Like, this is free content, and it's not all about you, right? That's another layer too. Like, there's so many, like, narcissistic personality disorders in the spiritual community. Like, everything is about them and the world revolves around them. It's like this grandiose, just wild, crazy ass, like, the world revolves around them. Like, you're the only Aries in the world that this reading is for, or this one pick a card pile is all about you. And, like, bitch, get real. Like, stop. That's how I be feeling. Like, some of them people, like, I have to just say it like that. Like, bitch, get real. For real. Like, what's wrong with y'all? There's a psych ward in every city, you know? So, or mental health facilities in every city. And maybe some of these people should Google them and find their closest psych ward. Because, like, tarot is beyond your needs. It's way beyond what you need. So, for that fact, like, motherfuckers shouldn't even be watching this shit at all. And not saying that there isn't YouTubers or TikTokers or Instagrammers or whoever, wherever they do tarot. It could be on the street corners that you have those little psychic, you know, shops or whatever. Not saying that there's probably people that just cold read and give you fake readings and stuff just for clicks and views or money. Not saying that that doesn't exist, because it does. Like, I've been scammed before too, like with some, like, what the fuck is this bitch? Like, I could have read this shit myself. Like, stuff that, you know, you can tell. Or just for entertainment, like reading the cards off of the basic meanings, like things that don't require you to use your intuition, and people just watch it or listen to it mindlessly because they want to hear what they want to hear, or it might be something they need to hear and they don't like it and they get upset. It's just like, people don't have discernment not to watch certain things. Like, they don't know better. Like, okay, obviously I'm not going to watch this, I'm just going to click off. You know what I mean? Which is why, I don't know, like, to be honest, like, I'm kind of indifferent with tarot, because it's like, almost, I want to say that I wish that tarot was a little bit more gatekept, or gate kept, and not so available to everyone and to the public. And obviously, as a messenger, as a reader, whatever, as an intuitive, you can pick and choose who you want to read for. But once you allow yourself to come on as a, like, you know, openly speak and, you know, share a message with a collective pool of people, I feel like that's where the evil eye energy comes in, because not everybody's eyes, not everyone's gaze is for the highest good. Some things are too sacred. Like, some readers on here, I really look at the ones that don't have as much subscribers sometimes, maybe not even have as much viewers or whatever sometimes. And oftentimes and not every time, but oftentimes and not, their messages really are of depth. And it's like, this person's gifted as fuck. Like, you could tell they're the real deal. Like, this, like, the way they're reading the cards is not like basic tarot meanings. Like, this person is really tapping in. And then you'll have those channels that the algorithm feeds you, and some of them is just, you know. And I feel like that's by design. But I feel like it's also spiritual protection for other channels and stuff like that, because certain people do not deserve the messages that some of these people provide, because they're not able to handle it spiritually, and they don't take the messages as sacred or serious as they should. Not like a scary, like, serious, but just like respect of the message, the messenger, the fact that your divine team even guided you towards that reading or that video, that person, and most of all, divine source God. Like, it's too needy and clingy and too self-centered and what's the right word? Yeah, I guess self-centered and ungrateful, you know. And there are people that I appreciate. Not every like is going to come through visibly on the likes. Like, some people like the video in their heart, they appreciate it, that's fine. Or some comments are not left because maybe some people want to keep what, you know, their testimony a secret, or they're just grateful for whatever. That's cool too. But yeah, there are people on here that just kind of feel entitled. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Spirit. Titled and ungrateful of the energy that we put into this. Like, those that really do like do this. Like, this takes a lot of energy. Like, I'm opening myself up energetically to gather messages for thousands of people. If not, whoever knows how many people will view these videos later on in life. Hundreds, thousands, here and there, who knows. That shit, like, when I'm done with this shit, like, I have to, like, shut it down and, like, come back down, because this shit can make you sleepy sometimes. Like, a lot of energy. Like, you have to pace yourself. You have to cleanse your energy often, if not daily, like, or right after, which you should always do. But this shit is not just some, oh, I'm just gonna shuffle and, like, nah, fuck no, not at all. I take this shit seriously. Even in my baby stage, I took it seriously, but learning through it. Like, I wish I would have did things a little more differently in the past, a little, with a bit more discernment, a little bit more protection. Yeah, same thing. Like, yeah, a performer, when they go on stage, they tap into that creative energy or that creative force that they identify with, and they give their all. And when they're done, they're dancing, they sweating, there's so much that goes into allowing yourself to like tap into an energy space. It's a lot. But like the tarot, like I feel like people just see it as like stuff that they see on movies and shit like that, and they think it's just something cute to look at or something like that, or they're just overly religious or spiritual about it and just like, oh my god, 1111 and I saw 333, so this reading is for me. Like, no, not necessarily. Use better discernment, sis or bro, whatever. Better discernment, and we live and we learn, which is why like some readings that I just don't feel led to put on YouTube, because it's not even, I don't want to cheat my YouTuber family out, which is why I make it available if you guys want to, you know, become a Patreon member. Like, if you find the content valuable enough, like, you know, it costs nothing hardly for, you know, it's very, you know, minimal price. I don't want to say the word cheap, but but I would rather not share certain content on YouTube, because I feel like YouTube has a pretty tainted energy in it. Like, it's too oversaturated with a lot of shit. It's just too much. So, yeah, it's too much. It's overly saturated, too easily accessible. I don't want to make my energy too accessible to everybody either. Like, thank you. Yeah, yeah, I appreciate that. But yeah, like certain things I just don't feel I should like share, expose my energy to, or um certain people seeing, you know, my energy. It just doesn't need to be seen for everyone. When it calls, you know, but hey, you got to reach people. Got to reach those that are meant to, you know, hear the message when they're meant to. It may not be that same week, day, year, month, whatever. It could be years down the line. Like, you know, yeah, the twin flame journey stuff. Yeah, y'all. That's how I started my channel. Yeah. And I definitely like shifted out of that whole thing because I just didn't resonate with that anymore. Some people stayed because that's where they were. They were growing out of that phase or that experience. And some people left because they were still in that loop. And that's just, you know. But yeah, we all have our own journeys and stuff like that. And I don't expect everyone to stick around and stay. Like, sometimes, like, I'll keep it 100. There's readers that I subscribed to when I first started my channel, or before I even started reading, that I really enjoyed when I was in my baby journey stage. And I may not watch their videos all the time, if at all, most of the time, but I still support them. I still subscribe, and I'm still a support of them because they did help me on my journey, and I feel like I got what I needed. And sometimes I, like I said, I'll go back and watch if I need something, or I feel like something's calling to me, just as support. So I totally respect if people don't stick around. Like, that's not necessarily how it has to be, but if you know, because I do feel like some people resonate in journeys together, and they stick it out, like with friendships. Like, some friends will stick around through every stage of your life, and some people, they, you know, they naturally pass through, or it was a season, it was something, you know, that you were meant to experience at that time, whether it was painful or not, or it was just a natural, you know, parting. I do believe that's the same with like the channels, you know, or specifically I'll speak for myself with my channel. I feel like there's people that have been here from the beginning and they still vibe with my channel. They still might book a reading or, you know, hop on a live. And that's because I'm assuming, I can only assume, that we are, you know, kind of like on the same space or understanding or growth level, or benefiting from where they are in their journey with whatever whatever messages I have at the time, for them. So I appreciate that. And it could also be people just may not watch the videos anymore, but they subscribe because they support me, and I appreciate that. So yeah, we're gonna leave it at that, y'all. We've been on here for such a long time. Like, god dang. We've been on for a long time. I was supposed to do something, but I don't know, I probably missed a couple of text messages or calls, but I'll check in a second. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. Don't sweep your shit under the rug. Just lift the rug up, clean up what you need to, okay? Don't forget to do your mirror work, y'all, okay? If it resonates with you, speak love over yourself. Even if it's cringy, keep doing it until it feels natural to you and it feels good to do it. We're going to do it together as a collective. But I do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Show some love to the channel if this really blessed you. If this message was helpful to you, I would greatly appreciate it. If you feel like it may resonate with someone, yeah, share it. And if you need to warn them firsthand, like, this bitch cusses a lot, and her delivery might be a little, not as love and lightish as you might like. Thankfully, my voice sounds a little bit sweet. No, I'm just like, no, but yeah, that might help the delivery a little bit. But I do hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your Friday, wherever you guys are in the world, your Venus day. And if you're watching this after Venus day, that is completely fine as well. But the energy of love and self-love and all that good shit, all that beautiful things that Venus energy provides, may you take it in and accept it and embrace it for yourself and share it with whom is of deservingness. And I'll catch you guys in the next reading. Much love as always. Peace.